Greetings, friends, and welcome back to the OR News broadcast. It is now time for our daily English edition, in which we are pleased to present the Albanian news in a language that you understand. As usual, I'm Daniel Cook, your host, and in today's news, last night's rainfalls have caused flooding and damage all over Albania, but perhaps Lezhë and Laçi were hit the worst. Continuing into today, the difficult weather conditions continue to endanger the lives of the citizens of these cities. Heavy rainfalls and strong winds have caused significant problems for the movement of vehicles in both of these towns. Members of the Army and State Police showed up in Lezhë last night to help the emergencies of people in this area. Unfortunately, despite all the efforts to help the people, the dangerous weather caused 3 deaths in Laçi. A vehicle carrying a father and his daughter was swept off the road by the raging river waters, and unfortunately, they were both killed. Then, a 22-year-old man was drowned under a bridge after a bridge collapsed underneath him. Our hearts go out to the families of the deceased in this very difficult time. The Albanian Interior Minister arrived in Lezhë today just a few minutes after midday. There he held a meeting with the emergency response team regarding the measures that should be taken in order to deal with the floods in this area. Starting from yesterday, the district of Lezhë was faced with an extraordinary situation due to heavy rainfalls, he said. The emergency staff was immediately engaged to help the people, but unfortunately, we are now dealing with the deaths of 3 citizens, stated the Interior Minister. The Minister of Defense is also in Lezhë. He said that the army is fully engaged in helping this town and its inhabitants. Over 80 military members are present in Lezhë, he said. They are trying to help the people of the area and improve this difficult and dangerous situation. The heavy rainfalls last night have also caused damage and flooding in the nation's capital of Tirana. The weather conditions caused floods in the center of the capital for several hours and forced drivers to deal with difficult and dangerous road conditions. During the night, the Prime Minister's office investigated a coordination group to attempt to manage the situation. The municipality engaged 450 people to assist with the dangerous conditions. 8 people from a single family in Tirana have been rendered homeless as a consequence of these floods. This family has complained about their situation, stating that no one has shown any care for their condition. The head of the family explains that the house suffered severe damage and that so far no one has bothered to help them. The justice reform continues to cause debates between Albania's president and the Socialist Party. The president has requested that the majority should start working immediately in order to improve the situation in the Albanian justice system. He made the following statement: "It is time to leave words behind. It is time to get to work and to determine the path that we are going to follow. Now the time has come for clear efforts. For a start, we must determine our priorities. Then we must determine objectives for each priority and choose the path that we are going to follow, and especially the budget that is necessary for these priorities," stated the President of Albania, Bujar Nishani. His statement was delivered during a meeting with the representatives of the European Union. During this meeting, Albania has launched a project called Euralis 4, which is intended to assist our country in implementing its justice reforms. The ambassador of the European Union was also present at this meeting, and he emphasized that the results of this reform depend entirely on the Albanian people. The Vice Minister of Justice in Germany, Christian Langs, stated that the Albanian justice system must be independent and completely remove itself from corruption. During the recent years, the European Union has given a fund of €150 million to Albania in order to improve the justice system. The European people's parties have reacted strongly to the current political situation in our country of Albania. In a resolution that they released concerning Albania, they emphasized that the political crisis has led to a lack of dialogue and cooperation between the country's parties. The European People's Parties have condemned the acts of violence and the threats against the representatives of the opposition inside the parliament. According to them, these threats were made by deputies of the majority who have prior criminal records. The following is a portion of the resolution that they gave. The European People's Parties condemn the violence of the majority toward the opposition, especially in the parliament. The physical assaults and threats against life are something very disturbing to us, especially when they have been made by deputies with prior criminal records. Furthermore, the European People's Parties state that the administration reform was biased, and this may have created electoral manipulation. The European People's Parties also requested that the majority stop its attempts to control the independent institutions and to follow the decisions that are made by the judiciary. They also urged the European Commission and the European Parliament to closely monitor the situation in Albania and to take the proper measures in order to erase this political crisis that exists. The Minister of Healthcare spoke today about the very high demand for emergency services. He stated that in a single day, almost 100 calls were made for emergency cases. During a shift, there are only 3 available ambulances, and it's impossible for them to cope with this volume of calls. Considering the high level of emergencies and complaints, the Minister of Healthcare stated that the situation will be changed as soon as the system is reformed. He said that sometimes the lack of staff and the delays of the ambulances can make situations even worse. That's why the complaints of the citizens continue to increase. The Minister of Healthcare promised that the system will be reformed and will function properly. He added that during 2015, 20 ambulances and a medical chopper will be placed at the disposal of this institution. Reports by medical authorities show that 70% of the people transport themselves to the hospital and only 30% use ambulances. They feel that perhaps a better medical system would be able to save more lives. The Greek Minister of Education has reminded Albania of his support in their path toward European integration. However, he has made a request that our country must respect the rights of the Greek minorities that are living here among us. Albania and Greece have reactivated a joint commission that will study the books that are being used in schools. During the meeting with her Greek counterpart, the Albanian Minister of Education made the statement that every decision will be made with consensus. She added that the reactivation of this commission shows that both countries are willing to cooperate and are trying to bring stability to the region. During his visit to Kuwait, the Prime Minister of Albania has attended a series of meetings with the most high representatives of that country. Among other important obligations, Prime Minister Edi Rama was present at an official ceremony given by the Prime Minister of Kuwait. During the conversations between the Albanian delegation and the officials of Kuwait, representatives from both sides emphasized the importance of cooperation between these countries. They stressed the importance of cooperation in the sector of tourism especially. Prime Minister Edi Rama informed his Kuwaiti counterpart of the reforms that have been implemented by the Albanian government and also of the opportunities that our country offers for foreign investors. At the end of the meeting, the Albanian Foreign Minister and the Minister of Economic Development signed 4 agreements with the Kuwaiti officials, which are intended to improve the cooperation in several domains. The Albanian government has started preparations for the construction of a new mosque in the capital city. However, the owners of the property have not yet agreed on a price for the land. The family which owns this land has officially rejected the offer that was made by Prime Minister Edi Rama. He offered to compensate them with the market value of the property. When contacted by Ora News, the representatives of the family said that the decision of the government is illegal, since they have not yet reached an agreement on the price of the land. They added that if the government continues to ignore them, they will address the matter to the Court of Strasbourg. This has been the English News Flash Edition. Thank you for watching. Please join us again tomorrow for more Albanian news, right here on Aura News at 6 p.m. Thanks and good night.